All right, hello everyone, and welcome to today's Yoga Fusion class. I hope you're looking forward to a nice relaxing session, a little bit different than what I typically provide on the YouTube channel. Usually it's upbeat, a nice solid workout with weights or just that high energy, but today, as we lead into the holidays here, thought it would be nice to provide a nice relaxing, calming, maybe, if you want to go into that meditative side of a session with a yoga fusion class. Today's class will be a little bit more on the yoga side of things rather than with the fusion side, including the strength. So a little bit more yoga oriented. So it might be a little bit different style than what you might be familiar with if you are experienced in yoga or frequently go to yoga classes. So I invite you, as I lead you through the movements of our routine today, to include some things that you would like to do. Maybe it's a specific alternative pose. Maybe it's a specific stretch. Maybe it's simply a breathing pattern. So you get to follow along and do the routine and also implement some of those things that you have knowledge of to just make this the best experience for you. So if you are ready, I am ready. Let's begin on the mat, and we'll start in child's pose just for maybe a minute or two, just to start calming ourselves down, breathing, and just getting ourselves prepared mentally. So come down onto your mat or onto the ground here and find yourself in that child's pose. Hips are going to push back onto the heels and reaching those arms forward, lowering the chest and lowering the head to the floor. Like I said, as we just begin here, holding this child's pose position, focus on your breathing. Find that nice, calm, slow, rhythmic breathing. Maybe it's a specific technique that you know of. Maybe it's the box breathing technique, where you inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and hold one more time for 4. Now, as you hold this child's pose position, if you'd like to, you can take those arms and walk them over to the left for a little bit extra stretch through that right side. And then walk the hands all the way over to the other side for that stretch through the opposite side. Bring the hands back into that normal child's pose position. One last nice big long reach. Then we'll lift our hips up off of our heels, coming into a tabletop position. And moving into our cats and cows. So from here, we'll start with that cow arch first. So lifting the head and chest and also sticking the hips out. That nice rotation through that hip bone. Hold for a breath or two, and then tuck the tailbone, press the back up to the ceiling into that cat arch. Again, hold for a breath or two, and then continue alternating from cow and into cat. As you're doing these, don't forget that nice breathing pattern through our movements. Inhale, prepare. Exhale as you move into the next position. And once you've done maybe about 4 to 6 equal number of cats and cows, we'll come back to that neutral back position. So back nice and flat, supported through the core, so squeezing, bracing those stomach muscles. And we're going to extend our right arm and our left leg into our spinal balance. So extending the right arm and left leg, and we'll hold here for a moment. Again, trying to keep the stomach tight and creating that tension from that right shoulder all the way across into the left glute, that left leg. When you're ready, release back to that basic tabletop position, and let's do the same thing on the other side. Left arm, right leg extend, again squeezing those stomach muscles, squeezing the right glute, and squeezing the muscles through the left back of the shoulder as well. Then keep the right leg extended, but we're going to just bring our hand back to just that supported position and then place the toe onto the floor. So from this extended leg position, we're just going to shift our weight back a little bit, pressing our heel to the floor. A little bit of a calf stretch in this tabletop position. Now when you're ready here, we're going to lift and cross that right leg over the left leg to the left side. So lift and cross and place it on the floor. From here, we're going to be able to shift and kind of lower our hip into the floor a little bit for that added stretch through the glute. So this is very similar to like the pigeon stretch, but without maybe some of the uncomfortability or the greater range of motion needed to accomplish that. And when you're ready, we're going to bring that right leg all the way up next to our right hand. So release and bring that right leg next to the right hand in this low lunge position. Again, knee is still on the floor. If you'd like to, you can take that moment again to shift the hips forward towards that front foot and your hands for that added stretch. When you're ready, releasing the hands from the floor, hands to the ceiling, eyes follow the hands looking up towards the sky as well. Again, keeping the hips shifted forward towards that front foot, keeping the glutes engaged for that nice stretch through the hip flexor and quad. We're going to release the hands back down to the floor right next to the foot. Now that back knee lifts off the floor into that low runner's lunge, and then release the right hand, opening up the body towards the knee into our twisted position. I like to call this one the greatest stretch in the world. And release the hand back to its spot. Knee comes back to the floor. Come back to that tabletop position momentarily. And from here, toes into the floor, lift the hips into that downward dog position. And feel free to pedal the feet, pressing one heel into the floor at a time, or simply just holding that basic downward dog position, trying to lengthen the spine, relax the shoulders. And now when you're ready, shift yourself body forward into a plank position momentarily, and then drop to your knees. We'll hold here for just a second, maybe 2 breaths, and then lower to the floor. Lift the shoulders, lift the chest into that cobra position. And release. And then hips back onto the heels, arms reaching forward into child's pose. Now, depending on how you let off our routine today, maybe you'd like to do a little bit wider knee position for this round of child's pose. So if you'd like to spread the knees out a little bit further for just a little bit different stretch through the hip area. And when you're ready, we'll come back into that tabletop position. So reposition the legs if you need to. Find that nice neutral back once more. And we'll do just a few cats and cows one last time. So lifting the head and chest, sticking the hips out. Hold for a breath. And then press the back up to the ceiling, tuck the hips into that cat arch. And again, go at your own pace here. Do about 2 to 3 full sequences. Again, inhale to prepare to move, and exhale as you move into that next position. And last cat and cow sequence. And we'll come back to that neutral back position to go through the other side of the body. So once you're in that neutral back position, let's start with that spinal balance one more time. So we'll start left arm extends, right leg extends, and again holding here for about 15 seconds. Just a nice opportunity to engage the core, hold that nice body posture, get all those muscles connected through that back. Go ahead and release to the floor, and that other side. Right arm extends, left leg extends. Again, tensing all the muscles from the shoulder across to that left glute. Still keeping that stomach engaged. Now into that calf stretch. So again, just release the right arm to the floor, and then the left leg into the ground as well, with the toes pressed into the floor. And shifting the hips back, trying to press that heel to the floor for that calf stretch. And then we'll go into that lift and cross of that left leg to the right side. So when you're ready, lift and cross the leg over to the right. Again, either toe into the floor or just laying that foot nice and flat. Here we're focusing on dropping that hip bone towards the ground to the right side. That stretch through the glute. As I said before, kind of a modified pigeon pose. And now into that low lunge position. So we'll take that left leg and bring the left foot next to the left hand. Again, in this position here, shifting the hips forward towards the hands, towards the left heel. And release the hands, lifting the chest, lifting the torso. Again, if you'd like to, shift the hips forward towards the heel, keeping the glute engaged through the right glute, that hip flexor stretch. And hands come back down to the floor next to the foot. We'll place the right toe into the floor and lift the right knee. Hold for a second here, and then we'll go into that twisted position like we did before. So lifting the left hand, left arm up to the ceiling, opening up the body towards the front knee, and trying to maintain our gaze at our hand. And release. Bring the knee back to the floor. That tabletop position initially, as we lift the hips up into that downward dog position. And again, pedal the feet. We're going to move into our standing series next. When you're ready, we'll walk the feet into our hands and stay in this folded position here. Again, you can cross the arms over themselves or just leave the arms hanging down to the floor. And we'll just twist from side to side, that ragdoll twist. So just feeling loose and relaxed through that upper torso and allowing ourselves to feel that stretch through that lower back. If you'd like to, you can pause and hold and kind of use your leg as leverage to hold that stretch a little bit longer. Now when you're ready, recenter yourself, just that normal, neutral, folded position. We'll bend the knees slightly, push through the ground, and restack the vertebrae one at a time as we come into the standing position. Now, lifting the right leg into our tree pose. So however high you'd like to, if you'd like it all the way up into the hips, or maybe just below the knee, whatever you're most comfortable with. And then your arms in whichever position you'd like to. Maybe at heart center, maybe just down at your sides like I am, or really reaching up to the sky. In that typical tree pose position. Now as we hold here, you might notice that you might be swaying, might be feeling off balance a little bit, which is fine. heard from other yoga instructors that this tree pose is a direct simulation to trees in nature, how they blow and sway and shift in the wind and in the breeze. Now we'll release the arms, release the foot, feet underneath the hips, sink the hips down, reaching forward and up towards the ceiling to our chair. Again, continue breathing. When you're ready, come to a standing position. We're going to step back with our right leg, reaching the arms to the ceiling and leaning the torso back slightly into our crescent lunge. Now for a little bit of body control in this position here. So what we are going to do is we're going to drop our arms and kind of shift ourselves forward into this forward lean position where our ear, shoulder, hip, knee, and ankle are all in a straight line. And then release, coming back to that crescent lunge. And again, lowering the arms, shifting the body forward, maintaining that straight line through each of the joints of the body. And releasing up. And again, feeling those back muscles engage in this position. Reach back overhead, step together, and swing the arms out to the side as you forward fold down to the floor. And from this position with the hands on the floor, you can either step or hop the feet back into our plank. Hold here. Again, kneeling is an excellent option if you need that opportunity. And now lowering to the floor and lifting into Cobra. And release. Toes back into the floor. Lift the hips. Downward dog one more time. And we'll hold here for about a minute. So if you'd like to, on kind of your own count, you can lift one leg up in the air just for some variation as we lead into our other side. And lower the foot. And do the same thing with the other leg. Lift. One more opportunity here, just for maybe a breath or two, and then walk the feet into the hands, into that ragdoll twist. And then recenter yourself just in that natural hanging position. And again, push through the ground and restack the vertebrae back into that standing position. Now that tree pose, lifting the left leg and placing it against the right. Again, arms in whichever position you'd like to hold them. Again, foot placed against the leg as high as you'd like to, but just not against the knee joint. floor, arms at your sides momentarily as we sit into our chair and raising the arms to the ceiling. And come back to that standing position and step back with the left leg, reaching up overhead into that crescent lunge. And now into those forward leans. So again, releasing the arms, engaging the back muscles, and shifting the body forward. Again, trying to create that nice connected line from ear, shoulder, hip, knee, and ankle bone. And then pushing back into that crescent lunge. And again, that forward lean. Trying to keep the shoulders relaxed. Back to crescent lunge. And that forward lean. Reaching back overhead. And step together. Arms stay overhead. Swing the arms out to the side. Forward fold, swan dive, all the way to the floor. And once those hands are on the floor, either hop or step the feet back into plank. Is an excellent option here if you need it. And lower to the floor. Cobra one more time. And release and push back to child's pose. This is that opportunity here for maybe a couple minutes, 2 to 3, where you can do any stretches that you would like to do as we just kind of calm ourselves down as our routine has completed. So if you have specifics, go ahead and do so, or just simply find a comfortable position to relax and breathe. If you'd like to, you can follow along with me with some of the stretches that I will be doing myself. thank you everyone for joining the session today. I hope you feel refreshed, maybe a little bit more relaxed as you approach the rest of the day and leading into the holidays. So thanks again for joining me. This is our last final live stream for 2023. So thank you everyone for participating in our live streams over the last year and more since we started this YouTube channel. Yeah, thank you so much. Happy holidays, Happy New Year to everyone as well. And I hope to see you soon. Take care. And again, as I always say, can't forget my little send-off. Be sure to stay hydrated, eat some good calories, and also take a moment to stretch a little bit more than what we did today. So enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you, and hope to see you again soon.